How's it going, people? Welcome back to Dr. Fishing. So once again, we are not fishing in this video. I'm actually going to show you a modification I did to the boat trailer on the Mayak. Disclaimer on this video, this wasn't exactly my idea. Actually, a guy on Too Cold Fishing, which is a fishing forum here in Texas, he's the one that, I guess you can say, engineered this operation. And I actually went over to his house a few days beforehand, and he showed me how he did it and everything. So this is not my idea, this is somebody else's idea. I'm just showing you how I went about doing it. Okay, so here's what you're going to need to do this. First thing you're going to need is extension cord. Yes, extension cord. I got a 100 feet of just the cheapest extension cord you can find at Home Depot. I got it for like $18, $19. And make sure it's 3-prong, by the way. So you have your ground wire and your black and green wire. Okay, the next thing you're going to need is a ton of these. Well, I mean, maybe 2 packs of these, I think is what I went through. These are just heat shrinkable butt connectors. The guy that actually showed me how to do this, he actually has a specific kind of shrink connectors he likes to use. They're called Anchor. They're like $40 for like 20 of them. So I was like, hell no. So I just went ahead and got, just some weatherproof heat shrinkable butt connectors. And then you're also going to need a ton of these. They're just same deal, heat shrinkable. These are ring terminals though. Either a 1/4 inch or a size 10 ring terminal will work just fine. You're going to need some heat shrink tubing like this. You're going to need your typical crimpers. That's about it for that right now. And the 2 other things you will need is a 7-way pigtail connector. This is an RV, I guess you could say an RV grade. It's real heavy duty. This is the most expensive part about doing this project is this thing. This thing was like $40, I think. The other thing you're going to need is this 7-way distribution box. They're like, this one's like $16. So that's what it looks like. It's just got 7 different terminals right here. You can get them at really any kind of trailer parts store. Okay, so I moved locations simply because if y'all heard in the first few clips there, that freaking dog barking in the background. So I literally went to a church parking lot. So this is where I am. Basically, here on the right side, you got your light. And then out of these lights right here, there's 3 wires. There's going to be a brown wire, a white wire, and a green wire since we're on the right side. The green is your right turn and right brake. Brown is your running light, and then white is obviously your ground. Now, normally on these kind of lights, they ground right here. The ground wire comes out and it hooks on right here. That's not what we're doing though. What we're doing is, since that extension cord has 3 wires inside of it, your white wire is going to be your ground. So right here, I already have it loomed up, and in here I have the heat shrink connectors. I got the white wire hooked up to the white, and the brown to the black, and green to the green. And that's how that goes. And then, pretty self-explanatory, you just run it up your trailer frame, zip tie the extension cord all the way up to the tongue of the trailer. And then it's the same thing for this light here. You hook up the wire the same exact way and run this extension cord all the way up to the tongue of your trailer. And then now these down here, ever since we got this boat, these never worked. So I went ahead and just bought a whole new light bar. This thing is brand new, and I went ahead and wired this one up too. And so basically this is just going through this frame right here and comes out right here and runs up to the front. Okay, so the idea of this is that each individual light gets its own power. Normally, these fender lights right here, they would tap into that brown wire, the running light wire running from the tail light, and they would tap into it. No, this light right here has its own individual wire running all the way to the tongue of the trailer up inside that box. So just keep that in mind. Don't be tapping wires into wires and stuff. Each individual wire needs to run up to the very front of the trailer. No splicing, nothing like that. And it's the same thing for this side. I'll actually get under here and show you. So as you can see, there's your extension cord running from the tail light. And notice, here's the wire from the fender light. It is literally running along the extension cord all the way to the tongue of the trailer by itself on its own wire. And it's the same thing for the other side, obviously. Same thing for this light. This light has its own wire. It is not tapped in to this tail light running light wire. It literally has its own wire running from right here through here along the frame of the trailer all the way to the tongue. Okay, so that part's pretty much self-explanatory. Just keep in mind, just run all your wires to the very front of the trailer. Every single one, every single light gets its own power. So you're not tapping into wires and stuff. Okay, so I know this looks like a mess and is very intimidating, but it is not whatsoever. Since I only need 4 things for this trailer, which is the running light, left turn, right turn, and ground. So basically what you're doing, you're using 1 stud in this box right here for each individual need. So as you can see right here, this is my ground post, Every single light has a ground wire running up here individually, and every single one of those ground wires is hooked onto this post right here. So each tail light gets its own ground wire. It is each individually hooked right here onto this post. So the next one right here is my running lights. So that light bar on the back, the two fender lights, and the running lights for the tail lights are all running right here. Here's my little operation. These individual wires, by the way, are the fender lights and that light bar on the back. So each and every one of those are running right here, and they're hooked on the ring terminals. The yellow one right here, this is my left turn and left brake light. That's very self-explanatory. Basically, since I have the green wire hooked up to the turn signals, it's running in to your left turn right here. And it's the same way for this one. This one right here is for the right turn and right brake. So your wire that comes out of your tail light that operates your right turn and your brake light is running right here. I hope I explained that to y'all and didn't make it too complicated. So here is where the hardest part of the whole job was, and it was the most, I wouldn't say stressful, but you had to think a little bit on this one. So obviously this pigtail, the hardest part of this whole job, to be 100% honest, was stripping this rubber insulation off this pigtail. This stuff is very, very thick and it's very strong. You know, I have a Bench-N-8 knife here and I have my wire strippers and everything, and it still gave me hell trying to get that rubber insulation off around that pigtail. So basically what I ended up doing was getting a heat gun and heating up the insulation and getting pliers and just pulling it back and then cutting it off as I go. So here's where it gets confusing though. So there's 7 wires running out of this pigtail. You would think that you would just match up the colors, you know. So the only one that matches is the white. So the white wire running out of this pigtail is the ground. So that's easy. All your ground wires and your pigtail ground wire is hooked up onto this post right here. The confusing part is you would think that since brown on a trailer is your running light, you would think the brown will hook up on your running light. Apparently on a 7-way connector, I didn't know it, your running light is actually green. So the green wire coming out of the pigtail is going to hook up on your running light post, which is right here. And then on trailers, the left turn and left brake is usually yellow. You would think that, but as you can see, this yellow wire is not even being used. The left turn and left brake on a 7-way connector is actually the red wire. So you're going to take your red wire and hook it up onto your left turn, left brake post. And then finally, you would think that your green wire right here is for your right turn and your right brake, like it normally is on trailers. On a 7-way connector, the brown wire that runs out of the pigtail is your right and your brake light on the right side. So your right turn and your brake light on the right hand side of the trailer. So that's basically how this works. And then these other 3 wires, they're not being used. I probably need to tape them off or something, but I didn't. They're just hanging around there. So the reason I say this was the most complicated part of the operation, it's because I went ahead and hooked up the pigtail to where I thought they needed to be. You know, white on white, brown for running, yellow for left, and then green for right. So I hooked it all up, plugged it in, came up here to the truck, turning it on, ready to see what my beautiful work has done. I turned it on, and then nothing turned on. There was not a single light on the trailer working.
250 strands of light, 100 individual bulbs per strand for a grand total of 25,000 imported Italian Fuico lights.
So then I went ahead and said, okay, let's see if any of the blinkers are working. I turned my right blinker on, and this particular light, this particular fender light here was blinking as if it was the right blinker. So I was like, okay, so the only thing that means is that we do not have these wires correlated the proper way. So basically all I did was, I knew the ground was working, because if the ground wasn't working, then none of the lights would work at all. So I knew that I had the white wire right. So basically what I did was turn my truck lights on with the trailer plugged in, and I went on each individual wire coming out of this pigtail and touched it on the running light post until the running lights kicked on. So once they kicked on, I said, okay, so the green wire is for running light. I did the same thing for the left turn. I turned the left turn signal on, touched each individual wire on this one until the left turn signal turned on. So I said, okay, so the red wire is for the turn signal on the left side. And then the same thing for the right side. Flip the right side signal on and touch each individual wire on the right post until the right turn signal came on, and once it did, then I had my colors figured out. Okay, so we got our bungee cord on there, and also get some wire loom. The guy that actually showed me how to do this ran wire loom all up and down the extension cord and everything, all the way up and down the trailer. The only places I used wire loom was right here, so none of these wires ground out on this edge here. And then I also used it right here where I had some heat shrink connectors right there, just to kind of help it seal up a little bit better. And also on these heat shrink connectors, especially the ones that I know are going to be going underwater, I triple sealed them. So what I did was put the heat shrink on there, heat it up where it seals up normally. Then I would put an actual piece of heat shrink tubing on top of that, heat shrink that heat shrink tubing up, and then I would get some liquid tape and rub liquid tape on it. And then on some of them, I also took electrical tape and wrapped it around there. So it's almost quadruple sealed on each one, because the biggest thing is you don't want any water getting in those connectors. So the better you can seal it, the better off you're going to be. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and show you all the lights working. Start the truck up. So here's our running lights. Going to flip the running lights on. So as you can see, all the lights back here are working. These are the running lights. There's our fender light working. And then to demonstrate the blinkers working, I'm just going to turn the flashers on, because the flashers run on the same circuit as the turn signals do. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. And so there you go. There's your blinkers working, and the brake light runs on the same wire too. So keep that in mind when you are wiring trailers up. If your blinker isn't working, then your brakes are not going to work either, and vice versa. If your brakes aren't working, then your blinkers aren't going to work either, because they all run on the same wire. So there's that. So thank y'all for watching. I hope that helps some of y'all out. Apparently this is a very bulletproof way to wire up trailers, because you know trailer lights are always a hassle, especially boat trailer lights. The guy that actually did this, that I went and checked out how he did it, he's done that to all of his trailers for years and never has a problem out of it. So hopefully I can say the same about my wiring job. And as y'all can see, I know we got ratchet straps holding the bunks down on the trailer. I'm actually in the process of rebuilding this trailer, and the first thing I did was wire the lights up, but I am in the process of rebuilding it. Actually, tomorrow I'm taking it to a welding shop to have them weld these brackets back together. So, because the reason this thing is strapped down right here is because the brackets that connect to this stud right here, or that pillar, actually broke. So I'm gonna have those welded back together. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna go ahead and put new bunks on there. You can get a McLean trailer for $40, pressure treated wood, pre-wrapped with carpet and everything. And then also, if you watch one of our last videos, we took this boat out. When we took it off the trailer, ran this pole over, so it kind of broke off there. I'm also going to have that welded back. And then also, I'm going to be putting new fenders on there. These fenders are about done. You can see a crack right there. They rattle around. They make a bunch of noise. This one over here is really bad. This fender right here has really seen its better days. You can see the two cracks in it. I mean, you can hear it rattling up and down. The fenders are just fried on this thing. So yeah, I'm in the process of rebuilding the trailer, and as I do that, I'll kind of take some video for y'all, show y'all how I go about doing it. I hope that helps some of y'all out. If y'all have any questions whatsoever, you can message me on Snapchat right here, Sperry8588, or you can message me on the Dr. Fishing Instagram. If you have any questions at all, just feel free to comment or message me, or do whatever you gotta do. Call me, whatever y'all want to do. So I hope y'all enjoyed that, and I hope that helps some people out on how they want to wire up the trailer. So thanks for watching. This is Don from Dr. Fishing, and we will see you later.